Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Brittany. This is the Brittany Reacts show. We talk about movies, entertainment news. It's all entertainment news today. I did see right before we started that Shelly Lee already gifted 5 memberships. Oh my gosh, Shelly Lee, you are always so kind, so supportive. I genuinely appreciate you, Shelly. Wow, thank you. So who's a member now? The Couch Potato's a member, the Pretty Princess is a member, Ryra Noel is a member, Brian Lowell is a member, Cheetah Viper is a member. Oh my gosh, so many members. I love this. Congratulations, guys. We do have a member section later on in the video once we get through all the news. And boy, do we have a lot of news to talk about. Marvel is a hot mess. But thank you, Shelly. I always appreciate your kindness. I really do. But yes, we do have a lot to talk about with Marvel because there's this whole article that just came out in the Hollywood Reporter that's talking about a lot of the behind the scenes problems that Marvel's been having and how their television unit isn't doing too hot and how they're having to restructure and rethink how they even approach making TV shows, and how there's been apparently a lot of drama and fighting between executives behind the scene. So there's a lot to get into. Hi Josh, hi Cheetah Viper, hi Jahid Lee, hi I'm Kai, hi Pop, hi Star Film Studio, hi Zeke Productions, hi Jahid Lee, hi Robert, hi Prince, hi everyone who is here, and thank you to each and every one of you who comes every day. I really appreciate it. Alright. So I'm just gonna get into the news because, oh my gosh, what is going on? As soon as I saw the Daredevil news, I was like, oh, it's going down. It's going down. All right, so let's get to the news. Before we get to the Marvel news, I do have 3 sort of minor non-MCU news I do want to get to first, really quick. I just thought it would be interesting to you guys. So the first thing is that oh my god, I almost wanted to combine their names. Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie are going to be pairing up again. They're going to be in the next Ocean 11's movie. It's described as an epic love story / adventure disguised as a heist movie. And it's going to be set in the 60s, so it's a period film. I think that this could actually be pretty big. I think there's a lot of hype around just the pairing of them since Barbie did so well. I think it's really exciting that the two of them are going to be teaming up again for a heist movie. I think that seems really cool, especially one that's set in the 60s, so I'm hoping we get the 60s vibe. Really cool. I'm looking forward to the fashion. I'm wondering if it's just going to be like Barbie, but in the 60s. That would be kind of nice. But I don't know. Is anyone interested in this? Is anyone going to see it just for the epic repairing of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling? Yeah, it is great. Oh, Pop's not watching. Oh, but Rachel thinks it sounds fabulous. Jay says, please tell me this isn't true. Daredevil can't be canceled. Well, it might have been a little bit of clickbait, but not totally because Daredevil is canceled in its current state, but we'll get to what I meant by Daredevil is canceled in a minute. Prince says, if Margot and Gosling are in it, I'm interested. I'm wondering if they can be what's a really good pairing that always goes together? I feel like they can always work together and people will want to see them just because they seem like such a great on-screen couple. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it. Oh, you think they should cancel this movie, says Alexander. Why? Robert thinks it sounds interesting. Burning Daylighter says, I've never seen an Oceans movie, so I might check this out. Yeah, this could get a whole new demographic to check it out, maybe. Oh, Jay thinks this is gonna flop? No. Oh, Josh is hoping it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. Who knows? We'll see more marketing for it eventually, but I just think this is very interesting because now that Barbie blew up, I feel like this movie has even more attention on it now just because it's gonna be they're teaming up again only a year later, so I think that's kind of funny. But anyway, moving on. A24! A24, this is a kind of controversial news. So A24 is looking to expand into making more commercial films and is searching for action and big IP projects. Now, the reason why I brought this up and why I think this is actually a pretty big story is because A24 has built a reputation off of distributing smaller, more niche indie films that are like described as like weird and avant-garde and art house. Like they distributed, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Beau is Afraid, Hereditary, um, drawing a blank on so many. I mean, they've made a lot of movies. You've probably at least heard of a few movies that they've made, and they're all like, kind of niche, but on purpose. They've built a reputation on it, and they've gotten a good reputation because a lot of people see the studio as like one of the few studios that doesn't, make commercial movies. Well, that's changing. Because now it's looking like they do want to get into developing IP and getting into action and stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see how this will change the perception of an A24 movie if they start like adapting their own IP. It kind of sucks that it seems like no studio can just stick to like only doing original movies in order to make money. You kind of have to like do something with IP. Because unfortunately, even though Everything Everywhere All at Once did really well, they've had a lot of flops recently. Like Beau is Afraid, I think, lost them like $35 million. So I understand why they're doing this. They need the money, but it just kind of sucks that they feel like they have to do this. How do you guys feel about this? Burning Daylighter says, I think this is a terrible idea, unless they push mainstream to be more artistic. What they could do is kind of go the Barbie route, where you take an IP, like everyone knows Barbie, but you give it to an auteur director like Greta Gerwig, who puts her own spin on it. And maybe that's what they can do, so they can still blend their sort of artistic, like, perspective that they're known for with more commercial stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll do. Honestly, I'm very, very curious to see what kind of films they end up making after this. Nicholas says there's a bit of a win by the rules before changing the rules in this. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I understand why they're doing that. I mean, it makes money. Obviously, they want to make money, so I get it. It's just, I think it's kind of a bummer. Joshua says this will piss off Martin Scorsese. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be very upset about it. I'm sure there's a lot of filmmakers who are going to be upset about this, because A24 was seen as, like, a bastion of, like, the indie spirit, and now it's like, oh, we're getting into commercial stuff, too. Pop says, I feel bad for A24 for doing this, because it's probably necessary to make money, but I was hoping they wouldn't go down this route. I know, me too. It is very disappointing. But anyway, just wanted to bring this up with you. It might not all be bad news. Again, we are sort of looking at this from a very, like, negative perspective, but to be fair, they could still focus on making sure that the movies are good. I think right now, because so many commercial films and, like, IP-based movies have kind of been bad to, like, mid, we're already thinking of this, like, oh, A24 is going to start making bad movies now. But they might actually be good. Who knows? They might actually be good. Let's keep the faith, guys. Oh no, Alex says they sold out. Alexander Padilla says, I'm excited for Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd A24 movie. Exactly. That's an original film that still feels like it's a bit commercial because you have two very popular actors with Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd. They should keep doing stuff like that. Maybe just get, like, trendy talent like a Jenna Ortega to, get people to actually want to see your movie instead of having to, like, rely on an IP. Maybe they should do that instead. I don't know. That's what I would hope they would do, but we'll see. Again, maybe this all works out for them. But moving on. So, I think we are really witnessing, like, a slowly moving scandal here with the Across the Spider-Verse movie. Because ever since that movie came out, we have just been getting, like, non-stop news about how the working conditions on this movie were not great. How all the animators were rushed, how they were told to do multiple iterations and multiple redos of the same scene over and over again, under very tight, time crunches, how they weren't, paid enough, how basically working on this movie was hell, and that even though the movie itself turned out to be really good, the people who worked on it just say, like, it was, like, the worst experience they've ever had working on a movie. So, we have more news now, unfortunately. So the ending with the Spot returning and Gwen reuniting with the Spider People were both added 6 weeks before the film was finished. So that just shows you. I mean, we've been talking about on my live streams how they sent out multiple versions of this movie to theaters because it wasn't like officially done when like the movie was supposed to be released. And this just shows you why. They were still trying to figure out how they were going to end this movie 6 weeks before it was finished. So you can imagine the time crunch the animators were under to try to get something like this done. And they weren't even really done. That's why they kept having to update the movie even after it was released. So I think this is a really bad sign for just how bad things were behind the scenes, and it feels like we're just gonna keep hearing more stuff about this. The animators, there's already like a huge expose article talking about their issues with it. So I'm wondering if this will go any farther. Are they gonna like, I don't know, try to sue them for unsafe working conditions or for more money? I don't know. I'm very curious to see where all this heads with this film because it's not looking good. Even though the film itself turned out really good, it's just there's unfortunately all this drama coming out of it now. Um, yeah, Nicholas, it looks bad, right? Joshua Munn says the film industry and the video game industry, which is also facing a strike too, is definitely in trouble. The world has a lot more to worry about than entertainment now. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the entertainment industry has so many issues. It's not even just like one thing that's killing them, it's multiple things. It's streaming, it's the fact that you have so many other things that you could do to entertain yourself. It's the fact that they're imploding from the inside with, stuff like this. They just have a lot of issues. Yeah, I know. I do feel bad for the animators, although the product turned out pretty good. But I did want to bring this up first because now we're about to get into the MCU discussion. And this kind of ties into the MCU discussion because it sounds like whatever mess went on behind the scenes with this movie sounds like it's the same mess goes on behind the scenes of every Marvel movie and TV show. And specifically, there was a whole Hollywood Reporter article that just came out talking about how there's so much dysfunction going on behind the scenes with the TV shows. And the first bit of news that we got to come out of this was that Marvel has let go all of the writers and directors for Daredevil Born Again, as the series will get an entire creative reboot. So what does this mean? I mean, a number of you guys probably already knew this, but, the Daredevil series was on Netflix, and then Marvel got the rights to it so that they could do their own season of Daredevil with Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. What they were planning to do was like their own like creative spin on it. They were gonna make it lighter in tone. Apparently, the show wasn't working because it was going to be more of a legal procedural, and Netflix's version is more known for its action and violence, and apparently Charlie Cox wouldn't have even appeared in costume until episode 4. So it was just going to be a very different show, and that's why they decided to essentially can it. They're still going to do a Daredevil show, that's why I said it's not entirely canceled, just they had already filmed several episodes. Like, apparently they had filmed just under half of the season already. But after reviewing the episodes that they did film, they decided to just completely scrap it all. And they released all their writers and directors, and now they're looking for an entirely new creative team to do a creative reboot on a show that we haven't even seen yet. So this is pretty messy. I think this means a couple of things. One, I tweeted this, but I really think all of this, the timing of this seems very suspicious to me. I think that Loki season 2 is probably flopping really bad, just because so many YouTubers I've been seeing have been talking about how like the interest in Loki is just like non-existent, or at least significantly lower than it was for season 1. So I wouldn't be surprised if once we get like the Nielsen views, like the views for Loki is actually significantly lower than season 1. So I'm betting that Marvel is seeing how badly Loki is performing, and Loki, the first season was a hit. It was a huge hit. So if the second season can't be a hit, then that means that Marvel has bigger issues. So I feel like the timing of all of this just means that they're probably freaking out over there because Loki is probably flopping, and now they're having to reassess all of their TV. And that's why I think this is coming out now. And Daredevil is just one of the casualties, and I'll talk about the other stuff in a minute. Josh Loves Movies says, I'm fine with Marvel getting new writers and directors for Daredevil Born Again, as it means they want it to do, they want the series, they want to do the series justice. I get it. And you're right. I honestly think this is a good, plan. This is a good idea. If they don't feel like what they had going was, going well, then it's a good idea to stop, at least before you finish the whole thing, and try to do it over again. I think it makes a lot of sense. But just looking at it on the surface, Marvel never would have done something like this, even just 3 years ago. I think this move stems from desperation. I think this stems from knowing they have to get this show right or else, because they haven't been getting a lot of things right. And I think that they're doing this because they're we need this to be good. It can't be bad. I think this is, it's a good move. They should be doing this. But again, they never would have made this move even just 2 or 3 years ago. I think this is a little desperate. What do you guys think? Boom says, you have a bad feeling about this. Okay. Riakim says, how can Loki be flopping when only one episode has come out? Well, I'm just talking about the viewership and online interest. You can sort of gauge these things even beforehand. Pop says, yeah, I just watched episode 1 of season 2 for Loki and it didn't really catch my eye. I almost forced myself to not take it off. Oh man, that's terrible. You know what? No, I was asking people. I think I was asking you guys. I was I don't know if you're not a hardcore Marvel fan, I don't know if you're really going to care about Loki as much as someone who is invested. I think a casual person might not care. You might even be bored, and I've seen a number of people online say that they were kind of bored with Loki, so I don't know. I really like it. But unfortunately, I don't know if it's the huge hit that it needs to be. Oh, Dee Dee, thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, really appreciate it, Dee Dee. Thank you. I didn't like season 1, so I had no desire to check out season 2. I didn't know how it did well, honestly. Honestly, a lot of people, it seems like more people are mixed on season 1 of Loki than I thought. I thought a lot of people liked it, but there's so many comments in my chat that are you didn't like the first season, so. Jordan, you want a poll? What should the poll be? What should the poll be, Jordan? Wasn't viewership the second best of all Disney Plus? No, it was the second best debut for a show this year, which is not saying much because the competition is Ahsoka and Secret Invasion. They're basically just saying the show did better, slightly better than Ahsoka and Secret Invasion. It's just all PR spin. Joshua Munn says Loki is supposed to set up Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty. If people aren't watching that and they don't watch Deadpool 3, then Marvel is in serious trouble. They'll have to do a Marvel DC crossover. Oh my gosh, you guys keep bringing up this Marvel DC crossover. I really don't think it's gonna happen. I know James Gunn is at DC now, so theoretically, maybe, but do you guys want that? I just can't see it. Do you really want an Avengers versus Justice League? I don't know. I feel like that would kill both franchises with the same movie. I really think that's what would happen. Hi, Tyler. Hi, Rioru. Arvin says, now that the second season will probably flop, I'm worried for Agatha, whatever the title is. Everyone refers to Agatha now as Agatha whatever, which is not good for Agatha. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling, as I tweeted, I have a feeling that they might end up canceling a lot of these projects, but they're saying that Daredevil Born Again will still have 2 seasons. I don't know why they're just capping it at 2. think that's a little interesting, that I guess it's supposed to be a limited series thing. But at the same time, although Vincent D'Onofrio did have a statement about the whole Daredevil thing. He said, we're going to bring forward the best series we can. Every cool project I've been involved with has evolved constantly during pre-production, production, and post. It's simply a bunch of creatives doing their best to get it right. I wouldn't have it any other way. Frankly, I'd be worried if we were settling for less. So this is just him, the same actor who plays Kingpin, basically just giving his support to the fact that they're rebooting Daredevil Born Again already, saying we're just getting it right, guys. Don't worry, this is a good thing, and it could be a good thing. But I think it was very funny, honestly, how quickly he got this statement out there. Like, I think Vincent D'Onofrio spends a lot of time on Twitter. But anyway, this is a nice statement from him. Jordan says, do a poll on who is watching Loki. Okay, I'll do a poll while I'll do this next bit, because it's about the Disney Plus Marvel shows. So, let me do the poll. Because I know you guys like the polls, and I haven't done one in a while. Alright, who is watching Loki? Alright, I'm gonna say me. I'm not interested. And waiting to binge. Alright, adding the poll. So, Marvel basically knows that they have a lot of issues with their shows in general. And this is what, these are some of the critiques that have been levied at Marvel Studios TV from, internally, from their own, I guess, assessment of what's going wrong. So apparently there's a lack of central vision, which I think is pretty accurate. I think from one show to the next, they're all so wildly uneven. It doesn't feel like there's any connective tissue or through line at all. So definitely agree with that. Apparently, they do not let writers get creative oversight in post-production, which basically is pretty backwards for TV, because TV is supposed to be led by the writers, by the showrunner. So the fact that the writers can't even control what happens to their show in post-production is unusual and obviously not a good thing for, like, creativity's sake. So it's kind of crazy that they weren't doing that. And apparently they have a fix-it-in-post attitude, which basically just means, oh, we'll fix it in post-production, which just means we'll use CGI or visual effects to fix whatever issue it is, which is kind of something they've always had in Marvel. A good example of that is in Endgame, for their time travel suits that the Avengers wear. They wore green screen suits on set because they couldn't figure out what they wanted the suits to look like on time. So they said that they'd fix it in post. So that's why all their Avengers suits are actually CGI. So that's kind of that mindset that they're doing with everything now. So that's why a lot of the stuff looks very CGI and digital, because it is. So that's one issue. And then you have film executives running the shows, which is, again, that's unusual because it's supposed to be the showrunner controlling and running the shows. So you have Kevin Feige and his other film executives who are really the ones in charge, and the creators are the ones that are just doing whatever Marvel is telling them to do. And then they're shooting each of these shows for like 150 million plus per season on the fly. So they're just, like, once they have a script, once they have their team in place, they're just like cranking these shows out on the fly, like without very little care, like attention paid to it, and they're spending crazy tons of money on it. So of course, if these are all the things that you're doing, no wonder these shows are turning out to be not so good. Do any of these things surprise you guys? Nicholas says, I clicked. That would take a fourth option for losing. Oh, I should have added a fourth option for losing interest. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's only been one episode. Joshua says, I do think Secret Wars is going to have characters from other studios, especially if Marvel, the leading studio, flops and Loki Season 2 and Deadpool 3 flop. We'll get characters from other studios in it. I mean, you're probably not wrong. I just don't know if I want DC. Like, I already know Secret Wars is supposed to be, like, you have every person from every Marvel movie that's ever been made, even if it's not MCU. Like, you'll have Tobey Maguire come back, but you'll have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man meet, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who meets, Robert Downey Jr., who comes back from the grave. Like, you'll have, like, that sort of team up in Secret Wars. Like, as long as you're keeping it to just Marvel movies, I'm okay with that. But if you're also gonna, like, expand to a whole new superhero franchise, like DC, I feel like that's too much. I'm not for that. I'm not for that at all. Like, if the Joker shows up in Avengers Secret Wars, I'm not for that. If I see Batman face off against Iron Man, I'm not for that. I'm sorry. That's too much. Too far. Alright, let me go back to this poll. What did you guys say? So 48% of you are not interested in Loki, so you're not even watching it. But 35% of you are. That's a good chunk. I'm still watching it. I actually liked the first episode. That's why it sucks so much that not a lot of people are interested, because I actually think the show is pretty good so far. And then 17% are waiting to binge. And that's still a pretty good chunk, too. So, like, combined, over 50% of you are at least interested in watching it, or already watching it. So that's pretty good compared to, like, I swear I always do these polls and you guys are never interested in anything. So this is actually a pretty good poll for you guys. Yeah. So, I mean, a good chunk of you guys are actually watching this. So that's a good thing. Hi, Crydelux. Okay, Boom Kitty wants to see the DC crossover. Well, I mean, maybe it's just me. How many of you guys actually want to see a DC crossover? Is it just me that doesn't want it? You guys seem to really want this. Nicholas, thank you for reminding me. I do want to let you guys know, on Friday I will not be having a live show because I am moving this weekend. So I'm going to be in the process of doing that. In fact, I still have to set up the Wi-Fi in my new apartment. So I'm hoping I can have a show on Monday, but likely not. I'm going to promise, or at least hope to promise, that I'll have a show by next Wednesday. But can't confirm. I'm going to have another show. I'm not, like, ending the show, not at all. I might have to take a few days off because I'm in the process of moving. So I'm just letting you guys know that I might not have another show after tomorrow until, like, maybe next Wednesday or so. Just giving you guys a heads up. But good news is I will have a different backdrop, more space, so hopefully I'll have a much nicer backdrop for you guys to look at. But anyway, just giving you a heads up for that. Oh, you guys want a poll about the DC crossover? You know what? Fine. Why not? You guys like the polls. I do these for you guys anyway. Do you want a DC versus Marvel crossover? I'm just going to do yes and no. Those are the only two options. Alright. Adding the poll. Oh, thank you guys for being patient. You guys want an apartment tour? I don't know if I'm giving you an entire apartment. No, definitely not. Maybe just a workspace tour. Joshua Munn says, Disney loves doing these outer studios crossovers between Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Wreck-It Ralph 1 and 2, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. So I'd be surprised if Secret Wars is like that. You want Secret Wars to be like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's just breaking all sorts of rules and barriers on the universe. Like, you're breaking both universes by having that happen. I feel like that can only lead to nothing good for either team. Like, imagine if that movie is bad. That kills both universes. You know? I think it would be a very bad idea. I am going to see Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm very much looking forward to it. Alright, so how's the poll doing? So 66% of you are saying no, you agree with me. But, to be fair, 34% of you are actually saying yes. 34%, that's a third of you. A third of you are saying yes, sign me up for a DC Marvel crossover. So you know what? All respect. You know what? If they actually did do a DC Marvel crossover, I would be there. Obviously, as a huge nerd, I feel like that's a movie I can't not see. So they'd have my money, but I just don't think that creatively, that or even business wise, it would be a good idea. I think it would break both universes. But anyway, thank you for voting. I'm glad that you guys like these polls so much. Um, that's true. You guys are a lot of Marvel fans, which is fine. I'm glad I have a lot of Marvel fans in my chat. It was a positive Marvel poll. All right. Moving on to how they plan to fix Marvel television. This is how they plan to change TV for Marvel going forward. So, first thing that they're going to change, the shows will now have proper showrunners that will write pilots and show Bibles. So basically, they're not going to have the executives run everything, or at least they shouldn't. They're not going to have, just this one director, writer, as they've been doing, that kind of does everything. They're going to have a regular showrunner, how traditional television has always had. And I think that alone will probably not solve, but I think it'll definitely help with a lot of their issues. Just because a showrunner knows how a show is supposed to be structured and supposed to be paced. So I feel like a lot of these Marvel shows just are not structured well and are not paced well, so just having a showrunner might fix that. And then secondly, they want to focus on multi-season serialized TV rather than limited series. So right now what they're doing is like they're giving B, C tier characters their own season, their own limited series. And I feel like that's a mistake because A, they're introducing way too many characters no one cares about. And then B, how can you really get super excited in the series and in the character if you know it's only going to last one season and then you have no idea when the next time you're actually going to see them again? I feel like that kind of limits the hype on the character. So it makes sense to, make an actually good show from the start and then, actually want to carry it out through multiple seasons, not just, one and done limited series that are, 6 episodes. What kind of TV watching is that? No, TV watching or TV has not worked like that for, almost all of the time that TV has been a thing. I don't know why Marvel thinks that, or thought, that they could just come in here and, change how TV is made and that it was all just going to work out for them. I think it was the height of hubris, honestly. It was just the height of hubris. Robert Bell, thank you so much for the super chat. Just want to support the channel. Oh, thank you so much, Robert. Really appreciate it. You guys are so kind. Oh, and Sean, oh my god! Wow, thank you so much! Holy crap! Thank you so much for the super chat, Sean Channel. This is so great. Thank you. Have fun with the move. I do not want a Marvel/DC crossover. Feels like a gimmick, just mashing your toys together in the movie. That's exactly how I feel. Different universes have different rules for a reason. That's how I feel. I feel like in order for there to be space for there to be a Marvel and a DC, they both have to be different. Or it's all just going to feel like mush, because it's all going to feel the same. If you combine them in the same movie, you're breaking both universes, and you're making them too similar. Because you're going to have to. And it's just gonna kill both universes. I think it's a terrible idea. I hope they're not actually considering it. But thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are so great. Really, I have some just the kindest people in my chat. Really, really appreciate it, you guys. Anyway, do you guys think that these rules here will actually help them? I think it's a step in the right direction. I do, but do you think this is enough? I know, I love your channel too, by the way, Sean, so that's why I was, reacting like that. I was like, oh my god, Sean, you watch me, that's great. Yeah. Joshua says, I want a Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2. I would like that. I like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That could be good. But it would be multiple studios, not even just Marvel and DC for Secret Wars. But honestly, DC is already destroyed, yeah. And Marvel is on its way there. Could you imagine if Marvel actually becomes the next DC? I mean, you're right, they're kind of on their way there, but I hope they don't get that bad. Hi, Flawed Fareed. Yeah, that would really, really suck for them. I know, it's so nice. I know. It's really nice. Anyway, moving on. So, there's also more drama on Secret Invasion. I knew there had to be a reason why Secret Invasion was so bad. I knew there had to be a reason. Because, what the heck? Apparently, according to this huge report that just came out, there was a huge brawl behind the scenes between multiple different factions of like writers and executives who all wanted different things and all wanted to fight for supremacy over who had the most control over the show. And honestly, I think it shows in the final product. It looks like there was no, again, going back to what they said here, there was a lack of central vision. And you could really see it in Secret Invasion. Apparently, it was so bad that that's why Marvel had to initially they had to fire like their entire creative team and replace them during production, which is not a good thing. So the fact that they keep having so many issues like this constantly, I think they should have realized they had an issue a while ago. First of all, I don't know why it's taken until just now to start fixing things. But secondly, I think it just shows you how much they've fallen. Like, they're kind of a mess. They're kind of a mess, and it's really, really sad to see. That just like 5 years ago, we weren't getting all these expose stories about all the drama behind Marvel because they were so untouchable. No one would dare to post something like this. Now I feel like at least once a month we're getting a new article that's talking about, oh, Marvel this, oh, Marvel that, and it's like I guess everyone just like smells blood in the water, and they're like everyone's coming after Marvel all at once. It's like I guess they made a lot of enemies on the way up. Not I guess, they definitely did. But now everyone's coming after them because they're like, oh, not everyone loves you. So now I can come after you. Because now it's like, what is with all these exposés suddenly? What's going on? Oh, Cheetah Viper says he forgot they even made that. Oh, damn. I mean, the thing is, Secret Invasion was pretty forgettable, to be honest. I think its biggest sin is just being forgettable. Truly. Arvin says Gaia becoming the most powerful character just to make a British Avengers team doesn't sound good. Why did they introduce their most powerful character in Secret Invasion? In a Disney Plus show? Why? I mean, obviously they didn't know no one was gonna watch it, but why did they think that was... Why did they... I honestly think Marvel thought Secret Invasion was going to be a much bigger deal than it was. I really thought they probably thought this was going to be like another Loki or something. Because there's no other reason why they would do that other than like they really thought this show was going to be big, and it wasn't. Because now there's this whole like major character in Gaia and that whole storyline that's supposedly supposed to be important for the mythos of Marvel that almost no one knows about unless you watch the show, and it wasn't a lot of people. And that just shows you why I think these Disney Plus shows were a huge mistake for Marvel, and they're creating all this homework that no one wants, and the homework doesn't even feel like it's adding up anywhere, because, like, what is the next time we're gonna see, these scrolls again? When is the next time we're really gonna, like, deal with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about in any of these Disney Plus shows? It all just feels like a big convoluted mess now. Yeah, they definitely thought they were too big to fail. For sure. Alex says, the kids between Nick Fury and his alien wife. Yeah, the whole subplot about Nick Fury's family, and just, it was all, like, what? I mean, I guess it was sort of sweet, but it's just, you had only, like, a few episodes, and they spent a lot of time on that. And there were so many other things they could have been focusing on. Nicholas says, to be fair, I think it could have been huge if it was good, but then it sucked. Ew, it sucked. It sucked so bad. I told you guys, I bailed after the first episode, and then I just kept tabs on it on social media afterwards. Because even after the first episode, I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't. I've been trying to keep up on all these shows. Like, I try to watch these shows, okay? I got halfway through Moon Knight, alright? I'm trying. But they're making it hard for me. They're making it really hard for me. Maybe we'll see him again in 2070. At this point, maybe we will. Maybe we will. It was getting hype from the MCU fans, but then no one talked about it. Yeah, I feel like maybe Secret Wars was just one of those, not Secret Wars, Secret Invasion, was one of those things where, like, maybe just like the diehard Marvel fans were super excited about it, because it doesn't seem like the general public cared at all. Like, at all. But anyway, I do want to get to the member question, because I asked you guys, what the heck's going on with Marvel Television? What can Marvel do about Marvel Television? What can they do to fix their TV show slate? What kind of shows should they be making? Or should they be making shows at all? Should they just give up on television and just stick to movies? I asked you guys, and I love all of these comments because genuinely you guys give some of the most insightful comments and we have a great discussion. So thank you everyone for being a member. Genuinely appreciate it. I just refreshed it, so I think I have everyone's comment here. Alright, so Brienne Solis says they should have continued with Daredevil and the one about the witch Agatha. I was actually interested in those. I mean, we still might get Agatha. They did film it. I hope they don't can it Batgirl style. That would suck if they did. That's like, I know, I feel like there's so many other people online that are like, why are we getting Agatha? And I'm like the one person that's like, no, I want Agatha. But yeah, I hope they don't can Agatha. I care more about Agatha than Daredevil. I am the only person I know. That show just appeals to me. Yeah, I'm with you though. I'm with you. Riaru says, I think they should take a break and see where their brand is right now. Going forward with a few hits and mostly misses in the past few years is just bad business. I used to watch everything they put out, but like many others, I just stopped tuning in. The MCU just fizzled out to flat soda at this point. Oh, I like that metaphor. Hopefully Loki will help them out. I hope Loki is helping them out. I'm hoping I'm wrong about the viewership, but I'm just seeing like, I mean, the first season didn't come out that long ago. I remember the interest and hype around that show was significantly stronger than what it is for season 2. Like, it wasn't just Marvel fans that were talking about season 1. Like, everyone was talking about season 1. It was all over my timeline. It was always trending. Like, it was a big deal. I'm not seeing that this time. Like, no one cares about this show unless you already care about Marvel. And that really sucks for them. Mary Lynn Cherry, thank you for being a member, says they should finish their scripts and storybooks before filming/animating to make the shows much cheaper and less depending on enormous viewership. Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to get their budgets under control. In fact, they said that they all these shows cost like 150 million, but I genuinely think it's more than that, because didn't they say that Secret Invasion cost like 220 million or something like that? I'm pretty sure all those shows cost way more than what they're telling us they do. But yeah, they're spending way too much on these shows. Or Disney's just spending way too much on anything. They have a spending problem. Alexander Padilla says, hey Brittany, I think what Marvel should do is cancel all of their shows. Even the ones they filmed and are in production. Just cancel them and focus on the movies. The movies are the spine of the MCU. The shows are too much homework that no one's watching. Sending love from Redlands, California. Thank you so much, Alexander. Thank you. And I actually have to agree with you. I think the only shows that I was looking forward to after Loki Season 2 was Daredevil and Agatha. Everything else, I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? It just feels like content for the sake of content. Honestly, when I first saw this news that they were planning to do a lot of changes with Marvel Television, I was kind of hoping that they were just going to say they were going to stop doing television or they were going to do less TV shows. But it sounds like they're still planning to do television. They're just planning to make them differently. Honestly, I just think they need to stop doing TV altogether and just focus on the movies. But eventually, maybe they will. Honestly, if they can't get these shows to be a hit, if they can't get people to watch again, they're gonna have to stop eventually because this stuff is too expensive for no one to watch it. Jordan Davis says, I think Marvel should just stick with the multiverse saga and fuse shows to bring back the specialty of Marvel so it can look good and sound good. I definitely agree with you. I think having all of these extra shows also like clogs up their pipeline so they have too much to deal with and that's why the quality suffers across the board. I think the shows are just a huge problem. They gotta end them. Robert Bell, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, you guys are so kind. Thank you. I think Marvel should just stick to making 2 or 3 movies a year. The TV shows have just been mediocre at best. It's no coincidence that Marvel's gone downhill since they introduced TV shows. I mean, they really did go downhill pretty much as soon as Disney Plus was introduced. I think you can draw a direct line between the Disney Plus Marvel shows to the decline of the MCU, because I think it all starts there. I think streaming is killing the entire industry, but like, you could definitely point to Disney Plus to killing Marvel. I'm not saying Marvel is dead yet, but it's definitely declining. I think Star Wars was already dying before Disney Plus happened, but I think Disney Plus definitely hurt it even more. Star Wars is just embarrassing at this point. I'm sorry. Star Wars is like, okay. Side note, I'm not even like a huge Star Wars fan of like the actual like movies and stuff. Like, I like them, they're fun, they're entertaining, but I'm not like a Star Wars diehard. But what I find more entertaining than the actual movies is the Star Wars drama. I love me some good Star Wars Lucasfilm drama, because oh man, why is the stuff going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm more entertaining than their movies? Sometimes I keep up to date with like Lucasfilm stuff just so I have reference for like what the heck is going on behind the scenes, because I find it so funny. But I hope Marvel doesn't get to that state. I really hope. It's not there yet. I think if I had to put it like on a scale, Marvel's still at the top as far as like the big franchises go. They're declining, but they're still at the top. And then you have like, you know, way down at the bottom, you've got DC, which is, you know, not doing too hot. And then on the floor, you've got Star Wars. On the scale of like how the franchises are doing, that's how I would rate them. Tanya is also not a fan of Star Wars. Okay. Angie says, I don't think they will stop Disney Plus. I think the only reason Marvel is making shows is because Bob Iger is probably making them. I don't think they should make shows. I really think they should just stop and focus on the movies. They really should. Cry Deluxe says, I think the prestige wore off. They used to feel like events. I think they've overpopulated themselves with content, and now it just feels like homework for an upcoming movie that will probably not be that good. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that we now think the movie will probably not be that good, because there was a time where we thought the opposite. There was a time when we thought, hey, a new Marvel movie's coming out. That might actually be pretty good. Now it's like, we don't know. We don't know. It's pretty hit and miss. And I think that's got to be the number one thing they need to change. They need to change the perception that their movies are hit and miss and that they're only hit like they used to. And the only way to do that is just to make their movies good. That's literally the only way out of this, is just to make really good movies. Laura B, you've been a member for 2 months. That's great, Laura B. Thank you for continuing to be a member. You have to do the Britney gossip section, please. Oh, right. I forgot about the Britney gossip section. Maybe. What do you want me to gossip about? Well, I can leave that at the end for my Q&A. That can be like Q&A/gossip tea section. We can do that. But thank you for continuing to be a member, Laura. Fuad Fareed, I can always depend on you for the Taylor Swift reference. The Blue Gecko Nerd says, if Disney ever decides to make a villain protagonist, I would be down for that. I'm pretty sick and tired of the same princess movies. Disney should become original. Wouldn't it be fun if they made, like, a Disney villain origin movie? Like, animated, not like Maleficent, but, like, actually good? Wouldn't that be cool? I would be there for that. I think a lot of people would be there for that. Fofo says, I would just slowly introduce the shows not being canon and then completely ban Marvel shows. Oh, I like this idea. So, Fod Fareed thinks that they should just, like, decanonize these shows. Like, hey, here's this just, like, Otherworlds thing. Like, it's not actually part of canon. That's a good idea. Do you think they should do that? Like, Do you think if they released, say, Echo, and they said, this isn't actually canon, this is just an Otherworlds thing, do you think that would help? Um, yes, Laura B., the villain can't be good in the end. The villain has to stay bad. Um, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! Angie! Angie! Angie just gifted 10 memberships. Angie! Oh my gosh, Angie Suarez, thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Wow. So who's a member? Oh my gosh. Brittany Daylighter, M, Robert Bell, Thanos, Mikey, Joshua Munn, Rachel, oh wait, no. Nicholas Wilson, Samantha Rhodes, Ralph Fisto, Shay, Luna Midnight. You're all members now. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay, so we have a lot of members. This is great. So you guys get to participate in these member chats. This is what you get. You get to support the channel, plus you get to participate in these members-only posts on the community page, and then you get your post directly read on my channel. So thank you so much, Angie. That was so incredible of you. Thank you. You guys have been really generous and kind this stream. This has been very nice. Wow. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are excited. Cool. RuPaul's Drag Race superfan says, stop doing TV shows. Rather you make movies because that is where their bread and butter is. The good Marvel shows has been Loki and WandaVision. Even then they still had major problems. Get it? Major problems. Also, it is too much to have to watch a TV show just to understand a movie. If they want to continue to make TV shows, make it completely separate from the MCU. Yes, it can cross over sometimes. Just make it, just make it to where if you don't watch this TV show, you lost. Because then you're gonna get lost. Then you're gonna lose money at the box office with casual fans who only keep up with the movies and maybe one or two of the shows. Yeah, I think we're all kind of in agreement here that the shows are a problem, and then maybe instead of changing how they do the shows, maybe they should just make less of them or decanonize them. I think the shows are a problem. I think even if you start making a lot of good shows, you're still adding homework. And I think the fact that these shows feel like homework at all is kind of the problem. So I don't know. I kind of feel like they need to stop with the shows. But yeah, I think you guys are right. And then Tanya says, stop making shows nobody cares about. Yeah, so we all agree. Just stop making the shows. All right. Thank you everyone for being a member. And thank you everyone who is now a member. We have a lot of new members this stream. This is great. Robert Bell says, what about an animated Ursula origin movie? I could see that. Although, to be fair, I honestly want an original movie. So I love Ursula. She's a great villain, but I want an original villain origin story. And I want it to be a musical. So I want it all. Okay, you gotta give it to me. I want it all. Thank you, Robert Ball. Thanera says, only show I liked was What If? Really? You didn't like WandaVision or Loki or any of the others? I didn't watch What If. Maybe I should have watched that one. There's a season 2 coming out soon, so you have that to look forward to. Did I get all the super chats? Yes. Okay. You guys have been so kind. Really, this has been amazing stream. You guys have no idea how much I needed this today. I had a bad day today, so you guys genuinely, you guys cheered me up a lot. There's more comments? Okay, let me refresh. Alright, what did I miss? Okay, there we go. Deceeb? I hope I said that right. Everyone's pretty much stated what seems to be common sense. Either stop making the shows altogether, or stop making shows that are about characters no one cares about or has heard of. I think they should also not make the shows homework and part of the bigger cinematic universe. Also, helpful, your name pronunciation, Desi B. Oh, I got it all sorts of wrong. Oh man, thank you for the help though, Desi B. Now I got it. Okay, what did I say? Desi? Oof, that was bad. All right, thank you, Desi. But yeah, you're definitely right. I think what Marvel's trying to do with this new strategy is they're trying to compromise. They're like, we don't want to stop making shows. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make them good. And it's like, I think that was only half of your problem. You got the other problem is that they just don't need to exist. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. All right, so was that everyone? I think that was everyone. All right, thank you. That was the last thing that I had for today. So I guess for the next couple of minutes we'll have our gossip slash Q&A section. I'll just take a few of your questions, and that'll be it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as normal. And then again, I told you guys I'm moving this weekend. I need to set up Wi-Fi and my new, office setup and everything. So it's going to take like a few days, probably next week, to get that sorted. Hoping to be back by next Wednesday. Oh, Jojo Rod, thank you so much for the membership. Wow. You guys, honestly, you made my day. Truly, if you only knew, you made my day. Anthony Santos, you're now a member. Congratulations. That's so cool. All right. Jordan says they should just recap their shows and movies. I mean, I guess there could be like a what you missed on Marvel before every movie. Would you guys want that? Like, here's what you missed on Marvel. Like, I know people always say Marvel movies are kind of like episodes in a TV show, like within like the larger universe, but then that would literally make them like TV shows. Robert Bell says, do you have WTF news? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to search for some good WTF news for tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Laura! Laura B. Oh my gosh, you guys have been so kind. It's like you guys knew I need this today. Oh, thank you. You got the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. I hope the move goes well. You also made my day brighter. Thank you, Brittany. Oh, you guys made my day. Truly. Just turned it like a complete 180. Thank you. Wow. This was a great chat. I needed this. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I want to end it on that really great positive note. You guys have been great. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, and I'll see you then. Hopefully we'll have some more good Marvel drama to talk about, because this was a fun discussion. Even though it's kind of bad for them, good for us. Good chit chat. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow.